Good morning, students. Our first theorem today is let G be a nilpotent group and H is a proper subgroup of this group G. Then we are to prove that H is proper subgroup of its normalizer. It means if we take a proper subgroup of a nilpotent group, then that proper subgroup is also proper subgroup of its normalizer. To prove this, let us take G is nilpotent group having the nilpotency class R. So by definition, G will have a central series given by G is equal to G naught, contains G1, contains G2 and so on, contains GR is equal to identity. This is a central series of length R for the group G, and by definition the commutator of group G with its subgroup Gi, that will be contained in Gi plus 1. Here I varies from 0 to R minus 1. Now H is a proper subgroup of G. From here GR is identity and this is contained in H. Z naught is G, which is not contained in H because H is proper subgroup of G. So from these two equations we can say that we can find an integer k such that gk is contained in H. From here we can see, but gk minus 1, that is not contained in H. Now let us find the commutator of H with gk minus 1. Now because H is contained in G, so this commutator will be contained in the commutator of G with gk minus 1. By using this condition of the central series, commutator of G with gk minus 1, that is contained in gk, and gk that is contained in H. So from here we get commutator of H with gk minus 1, that is contained in H. It means for every two elements, one from H and one from gk minus 1, then their commutator will belong to H. So we have taken an element X from H and Y from gk minus 1. So the commutator found by the elements X and Y, that will belong to H. By definition of commutator of the two elements, we can say that X inverse, Y inverse, XY belongs to H. Now X inverse already belongs to H because X belongs to H. H is a subgroup of G, so X inverse is also an element of H, and therefore we can say that from here Y inverse XY belongs to H. Now this is an element of Y inverse HY, so we can say that Y inverse HY is contained in H, and this is true for every Y belonging to gk minus 1, and also because subgroup H, that is also contained in Y inverse HY. Combining the two, we can say that Y inverse HY is equal to H. So from here we get HY is equal to YH for every Y belonging to gk minus 1, and by definition of normalizer of H, we can say that Y belongs to normalizer of H. Now Y is an arbitrary element taken from gk minus 1, and that is belonging to normalizer of H. So we can say that gk minus 1 is contained in normalizer of H. Now we have already taken gk minus 1 is not contained in H. we can combine these two, because gk minus 1 is contained in normalizer of H, but it is not contained in H. It means we can find an element Z from gk minus 1 such that it belongs to normalizer of H and it does not belong to H. That element we have taken as Z. Z belongs to normalizer of H, but Z does not belong to H. So from here we can say that H is properly contained in its normalizer. So this completes the proof of this theorem. Now in the next theorem we are given that G is a nilpotent group and H is non-trivial normal subgroup of G. Then we are to prove that intersection of H with center of group G, that is non-trivial. It means in a nilpotent group, every non-trivial normal subgroup of G that intersects the center non-trivially. To prove this, now because G is nilpotent group, let us take R be the nilpotency class of the group G. So by definition, G will have a central series of length R given by G is equal to G naught, contains G1, contains G2, contains G3 and so on, contains GR is equal to identity. Because this is central series for the group G, so by definition, commutator of G with Gi will be contained in Gi plus 1. This is true for every I varying from 0 to R minus 1. Now, if we find H intersection GR, now GR is identity, so H intersection identity, that will be identity. Now let us find H intersection G naught. G naught is G, so this will become H intersection G. H is a subgroup of G, so H intersection G is H and H is non-trivial. So from here we can see that the intersection of H with GR, that is trivial, but intersection of H with Z naught, that is non-trivial. Combining these two, we can say that we can find an integer k such that intersection of H with gk is not equal to identity, but intersection of H with gk plus 1 is identity. Now let us find the commutator of G with H intersection gk. Now because H intersection gk, that is contained in gk, so this commutator will be contained in the commutator of G with gk. Commutator of G with gk is contained in gk plus 1 because G is nilpotent group, so by the condition of the central series for the group G, this will be contained in gk plus 1. Also, the commutator of G with H intersection gk, that will be contained in the commutator of G with H because this intersection is also contained in H, and commutator of G with H, that is contained in H. Now this commutator is contained in gk plus 1 as well as H, so that will be contained in their intersection also. But this intersection, that is identity. So we can say that commutator of G with H intersection gk, that is identity. It means if we take an arbitrary element from G and one element from H intersection gk and take their commutator, then that will be identity. So we can say for X belonging to group G and Y belonging to H intersection GK, we have the commutator of X with Y is equal to identity. By definition of commutator of two elements, we can say that X inverse, Y inverse, XY is equal to identity. It means XY is equal to YX. It means X and Y commutes with each other. So by definition, because Y commutes with every element of the group G, so Y belongs to center of G. Y belonging to H intersection GK is arbitrary element and that is belonging to center of G. So we can say that H intersection GK is contained in center. Now let us take a non-trivial element X belonging to H intersection GK. Because H intersection GK, that is not equal to identity, we have already taken. Now because H intersection GK is contained in center, so this X will also belong to the center of G, and also X belongs to H intersection GK means X belongs to both H as well as GK. Now we can combine these two because X belongs to H, also X belongs to center of G, so X belongs to their intersection. And because X is non-trivial, so we can say that H intersection center of G, that is non-trivial. So this completes the proof of this theorem. Now our next theorem is every maximal subgroup of a nilpotent group is normal. So let us take a nilpotent group G and a maximal subgroup of G. By definition of maximal subgroup, M is not equal to G. That will be properly contained in G. Now, because the group G is nilpotent, and we already discussed that in a nilpotent group, every proper subgroup is properly contained in its normalizer. So, M will be properly contained in its normalizer. Now, normalizer of M is a subgroup of G. So we can write M is properly contained in normalizer of itself and that is contained in G. Now by definition of maximality of M, we can say that normalizer of M is equal to G. By definition of normalizer of M, we can say that Mx is equal to Xm for every X belonging to G. And this proves that M is normal subgroup of G. So this proves that every maximal subgroup of a nilpotent group is normal. So this completes the proof of this theorem.